welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Kristen Gear. I am the Director of Operations for BNI Arizona. And each week I come to you providing a weekly education nugget called Wisdom Wednesday that counts as one chapter education unit for watching. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's edition. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are all having an incredible week. So this week, I wanted to make sure that everyone, remembers Member Extravaganza is coming up. It's only a week and a half away. Starts April 1st through May 31st, a full 2 months of fun. So if you sponsor a new member whose application is dated between April 1st and May 31st, again, guys, remember, no exceptions to the date. So the applications have to be submitted within that time frame to count towards Member Extravaganza. We're going to have cash raffles and a grand prize for a lucky member to attend the International Global Convention in November in Australia with the BNI Arizona executive team. So looking forward to a lucky winner to join us in Australia later this year. But again, April 1st through May 31st. Biggest thing to remember. Now today's whole topic, I want to really emphasize how easy it is to help new members when they first join BNI. Because if you remember your own experience in BNI, you may remember that sometimes it could be like drinking from a fire hose. There is so much stuff coming at you, so much stuff to learn as a new member. And then the power of one comes out, and then it gets super overwhelming, not knowing what to focus on first. And so I wanted to break it down into the easiest parts and really explain what new members should be focusing on at first. Because I know that we talk a lot about in the meetings, how many referrals are passed, how many one-to-ones, how many chapter education units. We talk about all of the things, but sometimes we don't talk about the smaller strategies of what to focus on first, so that way it's easier to handle all of the material, especially coming in as a brand new member. So anytime someone comes in as a new member, the very first thing to focus on is attendance. Attendance is number one. So that is one of the pieces on the Power of One is attendance. Now you get full points for being at the weekly events. So when you're blocking out your calendar, block out that same day, time, location every single week. Schedule everything around it. If you view BNI as your number one client, it will become your number one client, guys. So make sure to block it out in your calendar, schedule around it, because that's where you're going to have your, in essence, sales meeting of the day, because you're educating your sales team of who to look for, who to listen for every single week. And if you're not there, you're not top of mind with everyone in the room. So you want to make sure that you're there. If you can't make it, definitely send a substitute so that way your business is getting visible. But the best person to represent you and your business is yourself. So make sure to block out the time. I always viewed it as my number one client of the week, and I scheduled everything around it. I tripled my business in BNI, keeping that as my top priority. So key. One of the biggest keys to success in BNI is VCP, visibility, credibility, and profitability. So you gotta be visible, and it's how you show up that's even more important, guys. You wanna make sure that you're not just showing up to show up, you're showing up on time. And what is on time? If your meeting, if your meeting is from 7 to 8:30, meaning that open networking starts at 7, that means you should be there no later than 7. That 15 minutes of open networking is not the opportunity to kind of stroll in. You want to maximize on your time during open networking. So meeting with visitors, following up with the members from activity from the week before. You want to make sure that you're mixing, mingling, moving around. No sitting during open networking, guys. I've been creating a joke a lot lately and telling members that the seats are like lava during open networking. You don't want to sit down, because if you are sitting, you're not being more visible. That's the whole key to open networking, guys. If you're sitting, most likely you're probably sitting next to the same people every single week, and the energy of the meeting is much lower if there's members sitting during open networking. So visibility is key. mix and mingle. Make sure that you create a top priority with attending the meetings. Yes, emergencies happen. Yes, you get sick. That's why we have absences available, but visibility is so key. So new members, create those weekly events as your number one priority. That's the key thing. Now, the second biggest thing, and if you think about it, VCP, what does that see? How do you create more credibility, right? And that's all about building relationships. So the second thing that new members should be focusing on is one-to-ones. So one-to-ones are the meetings outside of the weekly event so that we can get to know each other much better. You can't learn all about someone's business within those 30 to 60-second presentations each week where we're educating about our businesses, right? And even in the 10-minute feature presentation, you can't learn all about someone's business within that 10-minute spotlight. So you want to make sure that you are meeting with people as much as possible because you want to strengthen those relationships. The more people know you and what you do. I love the book Simon Sinek, Start With Why, because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The more you have one-to-ones with other members, the more they get to learn about your why, your own personal why, so that way they can refer you that much easier. So focus on attending the weekly meetings and building as much relationships as possible. Whether it's members of your chapter as a new member, I always tell members to focus on building relationships with their chapter first and then start expanding and building relationships with other chapters. So as you connect with members in other chapters, make sure you go with the intention of building relationships, not to sell to them. You're always going in with the intention of building relationships because that's the whole key. It boosts your visibility and credibility through those one-to-ones. So focus on that. Just focus on that. Attending the meeting and one-to-ones. And we have a ton of amazing tools to use in those one-to-ones so that way you can strengthen that information even better. So the Gains Exchange is one of the most popular tools that you can use in a one-to-one, and Gains stands for goals, accomplishments, interests, networks, and skills. You can learn someone both personally and professionally about them and their business. Now there's also additional tools. If you didn't know, there is a brand new Member Success Program Training 2.0 in BNI Business Builder. And within those training materials, there's a brand new manual and there's a one-to-one planner guide full of a whole bunch of amazing tools. So it has the gains form, it has the last 10 customers. That way you can actually write down who your last 10 customers were and share them with the member that you are having the one-to-one with. And another great one is the contact sphere sheet. So you can write down the top professions that you're looking to connect with that could be great referral partners for you. Because in BNI, it's not just about hunting for those individual referrals. It's all about farming and cultivating those relationships so you can build strategic partners with other professionals that have the same target market as you but don't overlap with you when it comes to the profession. So that way you're creating an ongoing referral stream instead of just connecting with those individual referrals. So those one-to-ones are extremely important. Now, when you're having the one-to-ones, let's say you have a one-to-one and it's focused all on one member, schedule a follow-up so that way you can focus on the other party in the one-to-one. Again, learning more and more about their business, keywords and phrases that may come up in conversations so that way we can better refer each other for all of our businesses. And then the third thing, so it's really just 3 things to really focus on as a brand new member: attending the meetings, building relationships through one-to-ones, and 3, learning as much as possible. That's it, guys. So focus on those 3 things. Now, learning equates to chapter education units. So a chapter education unit is 1 hour equals 1 chapter education unit. So 1 full hour equals 1 chapter education unit. The only chapter education unit that is less than an hour in length that counts as a chapter education unit are these videos. This is why I create these videos every single week for you guys. So this is the only one that is less than an hour that counts as one chapter education unit. So if you are listening to other podcasts, you need to equal and listen to up to an hour to get that one chapter education unit. I want to make sure everyone's on the same page with that. So an hour equals one CEU, except for these Wisdom Wednesday videos. Really, really important. Now, if you're also reading some personal and professional development books, those also count towards chapter education units. Really, the only thing that doesn't count towards chapter education unit is your own industry's continuing education. But as a brand new member, you want to go through all of the BNI resources at first, right? So you want to make sure that you attend or complete on BNI Business Builder the Member Success Program training. That's the number one thing. Many chapters have, if not all, chapters have the mentor program. That's another great opportunity to learn more about how you can maximize BNI. And BNI Business Builder is a wealth of knowledge and information. It has tons of podcasts and different materials that you can learn all the ins and outs about BNI. Learn as much as you can, especially when you first join BNI. So attend the meetings, build those relationships, and learn as much as you can. And make sure to log it. Logging all of the activity is also key, which is part of the learning process, right? So as you go through Member Success Program training, it's teaching you how to log all that information. I have a couple pages of members' names that haven't completed that training. You'll be getting messages from me soon. So make sure to get your training completed. It's always best to complete it as fast as possible so you can set yourself up for success within BNI. In the manual, it says new members should complete it in the first 60 days, but I'm telling you guys, the faster you complete it, the better you're going to have the knowledge and the strength to really get the most out of BNI. So get that Member Success Program training completed. And then the great thing is, so one of the biggest things that I hear from new members is that they're worried that they're not going to be able to pass referrals. I hear it almost every day. And so what you want to do when you focus on those three main things and then you trickle in the referrals, don't put that as like a top priority. Don't stress yourself out about referrals from the very beginning. It'll come naturally. It really will, because as you build those relationships through the one-to-ones, you're going to notice that through conversations with friends, family, customers, clients, other professionals, that those referrals are just going to flow. And if you trickle in a couple of referrals from the beginning, awesome. It's kind of like a bonus when you're first joining BNI. And if you think about it, if you have those top three and then you trickle in a couple of referrals, guess what? You're already in the green on the power of one. It's that easy, guys. But again, you got to log the information. The more you put into BNI, the more you're going to get out. So you want to make sure that you're taking baby steps into your BNI journey. I've seen it to where brand new members have hit the 100% club right from the first month. It's possible. So if you hit the ground running as a brand new member, I guarantee you will see a lot more success. Don't just treat your weekly meetings as just a 90-minute thing. Don't think that just showing up you're going to gain. You have to put in the work. That's why it's called networking, right? You got to put in the work. And it'll work for you, right? So focus on your attendance. Attendance is key. Build relationships. Learn as much as you can. Trickle in those referrals. You're automatically going to be in the green right from day one. And then, as you love BNI, you're going to then introduce BNI to other professionals that you meet along the way, which then you would get credit for having a visitor. The best referral that you could have for your chapter is bringing another visitor. And since we are coming up on Member Extravaganza, you gotta spread the word, right? So we want to create some excitement around inviting visitors, and especially professionals who represent professions that are in open categories within our chapter. There are plenty of professionals around the valley for you to reach out to that could be a great potential. But don't overthink it. Don't overthink the visitor thing, because we don't want to pre-qualify someone to join the chapter. The biggest thing with visitors, guys, is just getting them to the room. It doesn't matter if they apply or not. That's up to them. So we can't make that decision for them. We just want to invite them like we're inviting to a party. We just want to get so excited that we want to introduce them to a whole room full of amazing professionals that are looking to pass them referrals. And then, hey, guess what? They're going to learn all about BNI when they attend the event, and they get to meet so many people. But make sure, guys, when you have visitors, especially going through Member Extravaganza, the fortune is in the follow-up. So make sure that you follow up with them. If there's going to be someone who's going to be a potential great power partner for you, follow up with them. Even if it's not your visitor, follow up with them. So that way you can get to know them better, build relationships, and you never know if they may come back, submit an application, and hey, that would be a great relationship from there. So if you have any questions, let me know. But new members, focus on those top 3 things. Even if you just have those 3 things, you'll be in the yellow on the Power of One, which is still amazing. So yellow and green is incredible on the Power of One. Just focus on those 3 things. I've got you covered on the chapter education units. Just make sure to log them. But if you start right from day 1, start logging the information, you will be hitting high and you'll be smooth sailing in your BNI journey. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's Wisdom Wednesday. And as always, go log one chapter education for watching. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you next week.